People deluded, I'm back again. Smash the like button. As you can see here, Piero Hincapié traveling to London, still awaiting permission for Arsenal medical, which is interesting because the positive is that obviously Berta is competent, and I'd like to think Arsenal are moving in the right direction. We are not going to let Kivior depart this football club unless we bring someone in, whether that's Hincapié or somebody else, people. Now, so if he's traveled to London, there's some element of permission, there's some element of willingness that this deal is going to go through, but he's still awaiting permission for his medical. So what is the holdup? I don't know. But David Ornstein has spoken and said Bayern Leverkusen's Hincapié is travelling to London, but is still awaiting permission to undergo a medical with Arsenal as clubs work to finalise proposed transfer. The Athletic reported on Friday that Arsenal and Leverkusen had reached an agreement for Hincapié to join the North London club on a season-long loan option, including an option to buy for a total package of 52 million euros plus a 10% sell-on clause. Personal terms are in place for the 23-year-old to sign a 5-year contract with Arsenal next summer. He signed the contract extension with Leverkusen in December, with currently his terms running until June 2029. Smash the like button. But he's informed the Bundesliga club of his wish to leave the club, with his preference to join Arsenal. The signing was dependent on Arsenal moving players out before the summer transfer window shuts. And do you know why he's got a friend in me? Apparently, he's another one we hijacked from Spurs. And, Spurs thought they were Arsenal. They are little bros. They tried to, announce a little bow wow, little Romeo in front of their fans. And Bournemouth dealt with them. Shout out Semenyo, Areola, and all of them. I know we shouldn't talk because we got a difficult test at Anfield at the time of making this feed. Join me at 8 p.m, people. There'll be no watch along, but I'll have a reaction stream with you lot. So come and join me and share your thoughts, people. DG Nation, thank you for getting us to 70,000. The road to 100 is now going, people. So yeah, people. At this point, we're well informed of what's going on with him. Apparently, the signing was dependent on Arsenal moving players out before the summer transfer window shuts. Now, Kivior out, Hincapié in. There's obviously Lokonga, which we'll get onto, Fabio Vieira. Anything can change in these next 24 hours, but Zinchenko, it seems like there's radio silence. And we did hear Reece Nelson was in talks with Crystal Palace. Doesn't appear that anything really and truly is advanced at that stage. The Athletic reported that a deal had been agreed between Arsenal and Porto for left-sided defender Kivior, subject to Hincapié move being completed. The deal for Kivior is worth a guaranteed 25 million euros, rising to a potential 27 million euros, and personal terms are in place. Hincapié played more than an hour in Leverkusen's opening game of the season as they beat Sonoff Grazapa 4-0 in the DFB Pokal. He was on the bench against Hoffenheim, and you would have seen in the week either against Hoffenheim or the game just before the one it said there, he was actually in tears. It looked like he was saying goodbye, as footballers normally do, people. So yeah, and it's a bit of information really, because to my knowledge, a bit of history, better yet. We ain't had an Ecuadorian player now. I could stand corrected, but Hincapié obviously moves to London. You can chat to, a couple of Ecuadorians at Brighton. Brighton's not that far from London. Obviously, you've got Caicedo, who on the pitch, you need to kill him. Off the field, you can be best friends. And I think he's the first Ecuadorian to play for the club. So at 23 years of age, he's one that he definitely looks a lot older than he is. And he's definitely been on the scene a lot. Because even me, everybody knows, I'm not going to sit and say I know Hincapié religiously, but we've all watched Leverkusen. He's a household name in the German league. But it did shock me when I found out he was 23. It's like, you've been on the scene a lot longer. We all know he's played in Europe, many European competitions. We know he's won a bunch of stuff with Leverkusen, previously with Xabi Alonso. There's some rumors Arteta sought out the advice of Xabi Alonso when signing him. Now, obviously, Arsenal have been linked with Hincapié for a minute. So, yeah, we obviously identified his talent, identified if we can make it happen, what he can bring to the team. Obviously, I'm sure Bert has done his background checks. The recruitment department's done their background checks. And naturally, Mikel Arteta, probably you would ask Xabi Alonso, maybe even Granit Xhaka, who played with him, and like, what's he like as a person? And again, you look at previously Xabi Alonso's Leverkusen, they played a back three, back five, and swapped formations during different games in the week, swapped formations in game, can play left back, left wing back, left centre half. So he's clearly intelligent. So, and being 23, him, Calafiori, Gabriel Magalhaes, who's only 27, were well stocked at left-sided centre half, as well as on the right side. And there's a couple of, the Mascaras, the Salibas, the Whites, the Timbers. If it gets to that, they can play centre half. So we're bloated. Where left back's concerned, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Calafiori, Hincapié can all play a bunch of roles. And so that's good competition. What I would say for everyone, make sure Mikel Arteta can't leave you out in. It's as simple as that. The Ecuadorian's arrival has been among, it would obviously make it, boy, my point. I'm lost for words, people, because I couldn't imagine the Arsenal to have signed these players. But Hincapié, Eze, Gyökeres, Zubamendi, Kepa, Noni Madueke, Mosquera, and Christian Norgard. And we've got small hope that that's not the last in it, people. West Ham have apparently entered the race to sign Fabio Vieira from Arsenal. Stuttgart and another top Bundesliga club are also interested. And apparently that Bundesliga club, whoever it is, plays in the Champions League. Now, adding further fuel to the fire with Fabio Vieira, you would see that Paqueta looks like he's leaving to go to Aston Villa. Very different players, but occupied a similar role. So maybe there's something there to be done. Now, as soon as Kai Havertz got injured, people, we were linked with Wissa. Now, I would not be against bringing in Wissa. I think there's scope for another striker, but I can't see it happening, people. He's issued a statement and asked to trade Newcastle. I'm definitely not going to read this out, but he's offered he's put out a big statement. And to be fair, if he goes to Newcastle, I think Isak's going to Liverpool anyways, but draw whatever conclusions you want. Now, Lokonga, another one that needs to cut. Hamburg apparently are close to agreeing a permanent deal with Arsenal for Albert Sambi Lokonga, per sources in Germany. Hamburg are expected to be a modest fee. What? I think they mean expected to pay a modest fee. The Belgian midfielder's contract in North London expires in the summer of 2026. It's understood Arsenal triggered a 12-month extension option earlier this summer to protect the player's value. What value? He had been courted by Greek side Pacau after joining the Gunners from Anderlecht in 2021. He's obviously spent time on loan at Crystal Palace, Luton, and Sevilla, and never pulled up any trees, people. And he's been training. He was even there in pre-season, but it's clear he's not part of the plans, and it's clear that he's open to that. Anyone got Rodrigo hope? Despite reported interest from Arsenal and Liverpool, it appears Rodrigo is staying at Real Madrid after all. Tell us something we didn't know. The Brazilian has struggled to break in Xabi Alonso's plans thus far, but it appears he's going to stick at it for the moment. So maybe that's one of summer 2026 for the English clubs. Now, in June, apparently Rafael Leão wants to leave Milan. The Italian club won at least 70 million euros. So what's that, around 60 odd? Can't we do a loan with an obligation to buy next summer? That was in June. Obviously, we're now in August. It's the last day of August. So, yeah, I hope you've all had a great August. And in advance, I hope September is great and the rest of the year is great. Let's get back into locking in. Summer was great. I even had a summertime romance that I thought would last a lifetime. Myth. But, yeah, time to lock in. That was in June. Nothing's happened since August, people. But 6 days ago, he commented on Gyökeres' Instagram, if you could draw any conclusions from that, and said, show them he wants to move. Now, we have been linked with Palmeiras defender Bentetti. Apparently, Barcelona look like they might be about to hijack such people. Apparently, Barcelona have already floated the idea of a deal worth £10 million, 12 million euros plus bonuses, with a plan to part the 19-year-old in their B team from early 2026 so he can get minutes under his belt. The proposal is said to appeal to Bentinelli's entourage, even if Palmeiras and Abel Ferreira, who I assume is the manager of the club, are less enthusiastic. The left-footed centre-back had long been on Arsenal's radar, with Mikel Arteta approving the youngster and the Gunners linked with a 10 million euros approach, though the Brazilian side are still holding out for closer to 15 million. Now, obviously, we seem well-stocked, but if we can bring him in and he one day is better than what we've got, great. If that 10 million turns into 40, can't go wrong making a profit. That's the next level for our football club. We need to get more out of the Highlanders that don't make it, clearly get better at sales, whether it's players that have come through the academy or players that are no longer in our plans. Probably start sourcing players from all over the world. And if they break into the first team, great. But if not, sold on for a profit. Sorting out our loan system. And I'm probably dreaming. And it's not, this is something that Arteta actually can't do. But actually can't do. It has to come from the Cronkies. The multi-club model. It is what it is, people. So we'll have to see. With Barcelona pushing ahead, Arsenal could soon find themselves playing catch-up if they really want this starlet. They need to get moving before he packs his bag for Spain. So do you lot have any hope that, forget Hincapié, assume Hincapié signed for us, that we'll get one more in? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, hype the video. I'll see you lot soon, man. Join me at 8 p.m. to react to whatever happens between Arsenal and Liverpool. Fingers crossed that we win. I'm out. Always like